Friends, in this lecture video, we studied about the methods of improving power factor, advantages of improved power factor, choice of equipment. First, we studied about the methods of power factor improvement. Generally, the power factor for the whole load of the large generating station is in the range is 0.8 to 0.9. We have to maintaining 0.8 to 0.9 power factor. Sometimes the power factor is lower. For such cases, generally it is desirable to take the special steps to improve the power factor. How the power factor improvement is achieved with the help of the equipments. First one is static capacitors, second one is synchronous condenser, the third one is the phase advancers. Now we detailedly studied about the each equipment, then how to improve the power factor. First, static capacitors. Now you see the circuit diagram. This is the delta connected three-phase system. This is the star connected three-phase system. The load is three-phase load. Okay. The power factor can be improved by connecting capacitors in parallel with the equipment operating at the lagging power factor. Generally, the capacitor is nothing but the static capacitor which draws leading current and partly or completely neutralizes the lagging reactive component of the load current. Reactive component means I cos phi is the reactive component. This raises the power factor of the load. The static capacitors are invariably used for the power factor improvement in factories. Now you see the circuit diagram. Okay, this is the three-phase line RYB. The load also connected. So, in the static capacitor connected in between the power supply and the load. So the whenever the power factor, that means is reduced, that time the static capacitor is used to boost the power factor. Similarly, star connection also. What are the advantages and disadvantages of static capacitors? Advantages: they have low losses because the power factor improved, that's why losses reduced, and then little maintenance is required because there is no rotating parts, because the capacitor only is nothing but the static capacitor. That capacitor only is used for the power factor improvement. Here we didn't use the no rotating parts. Then it can be easily installed because it is very light and then require no foundation. The last one is it can work under ordinary atmospheric conditions. These are the advantages of static capacitors. Disadvantages: they have short service life, they ranging from 8 to 10 years only. They are easily damaged because the voltage exceeds the rated value. Capacitors means how to we can calculate the voltage drop across the capacitor. Formula 1 by C into integral I into dt. Okay. So this is the voltage drop across. So therefore the capacitor always depends upon the voltage only. So the load increases, the load current increases, but voltage drops. So therefore the static capacitors easily damaged because of voltage exceed the rated value. Once the static capacitors are damaged, their repair is uneconomical, because the lifetime also 8 to 10 years only. This is the disadvantages of static capacitors. So first students, you draw the circuit diagram, then you can explain the working operation of static capacitor diagram, then you can write the advantages and the disadvantages. Then we studied about the second equipment which is used for the power factor improvement, that is synchronous condenser. Synchronous condenser is nothing but a synchronous motor. It can be operated at three power factors, that is over excited, under excited, normal excited. Suppose the synchronous motor operated at over excited means the current, that means the motor current leads. Therefore, the synchronous motor behaves as a capacitor. That's why I am telling synchronous condenser. The over-excited synchronous motor is running on no load, which is known as synchronous condenser. This is the definition of synchronous condenser. When the synchronous motor is connected in parallel with the power supply, it takes a leading current which partly neutralizes the lagging reactive component of the load. So therefore the power factor is improved. Okay, now you see this is the power supply RYB. So the synchronous motor is connected in parallel with the power supply. Now you see the phasor diagram. Okay, V is the reference vector. Then the current I lags behind the voltage, but the current consists of IL and IM. The vector sum of IL and IM is nothing but the total current IA. Okay, and then here the angle between the V and IL is nothing but the pi L. The angle between V and IM is nothing but the pi M. The angle between V and I is nothing but the pi. So here the current I lags behind the voltage. Okay, so lagging, that is the reactive component of the load. So reacting component means I sin pi. This is the reactive component, because the current I consists of I cos pi and I sin pi. I cos pi is the active component, I sin pi is the reactive component. So therefore the power factor improved because the synchronous motor operated at over excited. So the synchronous motor current leads. So therefore it act as a, that is it behaves as a capacitor. So therefore the over excited synchronous motor only is running at no load, which is known as a synchronous condenser. The three-phase load current IL at low lagging power factor, that is cos pi L, already explained in the phasor diagram. The synchronous condenser takes the current IM. IM is the motor current. Okay, it leads the voltage. Okay, you see the diagram, phasor diagram. You see this is the motor current IM leads the voltage, but IL lags behind the voltage. Okay, now you see the resultant current I is the phasor sum of IM, that is the synchronous condenser current, and then the three-phase load current IL. But the IM leads the voltage by an angle pi M. The current IL lags behind the voltage by an angle pi L. But the voltage, that means the current lags behind the voltage B by an angle pi. So therefore the pi is less than pi L. Pi L is the load current. Okay, and then therefore the cos pi is greater than the cos pi L. So therefore the power factor is increased from cos pi L to cos pi. So therefore the synchronous condensers are generally used at major bulk supply substations for the power factor improvement. Okay, now the advantages and disadvantages of power factor, that is the improvement by using synchronous condenser. The first one is By varying the field excitation, the magnitude of the current drawn by the synchronous motor can be changed by any amount. This helps in achieving stepless control of the power factor. The synchronous motor windings have high thermal stability to short circuit currents. The fault can be removed easily in the synchronous condenser. This is the advantages of synchronous condenser. What are the disadvantages? There are considerable losses in the motor. The maintenance cost is high. It produces noise, and then suppose in sizes above 500 kVA, the cost is greater than the static capacitors. Same rating. For example, 500 kVA static capacitor as well as 500 kVA synchronous condenser, you can compare, means the size of, that means the cost of the synchronous condenser is greater than the cost of the static capacitor. The synchronous motor has no self-starting torque, so therefore the auxiliary equipment has to be provided for this purpose only. Because this is the no self-starting. It is the you have to self-start, means auxiliary equipment is needed to self-start the that is the self-starting torque for the synchronous motor. This is the disadvantages of synchronous condenser. The third type is the phase advancer. So the phase advancer is nothing but which are used to power factor correction of induction motor. The low power factor of induction motor is due to the some fact, that is the stator windings of the induction motor draws the existing current which lags behind the supply voltage by an angle 90 degree. If the existing ampere turns is provided from some other AC sources, then the stator winding relieved the existing current and the power factor of the motor can be improved. This is done by the phase advancer, which is simply known as exciter, that is AC exciter. The phase advancer is mounted on the same shaft of the induction motor and which is connected in the rotor circuit of the motor. It provides existing ampere turns to the rotor circuit at slip frequency. By providing more ampere turns than required, the induction motor can be made to operate on leading power factor like over-excited synchronous motor. So the phase advancer is used to correct the power factor of induction motor. What are the advantages of phase advancer? Two advantages. The first one is the existing ampere turns supplied at slip frequency. So therefore the lagging kVA are drawn by the motor reduced. The second one is the phase advancer can be conveniently used where the use of synchronous motor is unadmissible. This is the advantages of phasor advancer. What is the disadvantages is the phase advancers are not economical for motors below 200 horsepower, that is 200 HP. Then we studied about the advantages of improved power factor. The first one is increase in efficiency system and devices, low voltage drop, reduction in size of conductor and cable, increase in available power, the copper losses or line losses I squared R is reduced, low kilowatt per hour, saving in power bill, the size of the electrical machines, that is a transformer, generators, everything is appropriate one. The penalty of the low power factor from the electric supply company, that is eliminated. Better usage of power system, lines, generators, etc. Saving in energy as well as the rating and the cost of electrical devices and equipment is reduced. These are the advantages of improved power factor. So first, how power factor is improved with the help of the equipment. One is static capacitor, synchronous condenser, phase advancer. Then next, what are the advantages of improved power factor? Then the last one is choice of equipment. At the time of purchasing equipment, usually several alternatives are made available. That means each possessing the one or more special features. So therefore, the choice between the alternative types of electrical equipment usually depends upon the relative cost of the alternative equipment. During the selection of equipment for the particular service, the choice of equipment must fall upon, therefore, it makes the sum of the fixed charges, that is annual interest cost, depreciation cost, capital cost of the equipment. These are the comes under fixed charges and the operating charges is minimum. Usually, the saving can be affected only by incurring the increased fixed cost and vice versa. Therefore, the electric motor for a particular type and the size of the lower operating efficiency with usually cost less than the similar motor of higher efficiency. Therefore, the lower operating cost, therefore the lower losses, therefore lower operating costs. This is the choice of equipment. Dear students, I hope that in this lecture video you clearly understand the concept of how to improve the uh, power factor. That is the methods of improving power factor, three methods. Then advantages of improved power factor. The last one is choice of equipment. Thank you students for watching this video.